Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Hello, everyone. This is English 110. We're going to look at a couple of items like the syllabus, and there's one document in there in particular I want you to pay attention to. Let me share the screen and we will start off. I'm going to get to, this means for me, my screen's a little different than yours. Can you see the screen? Let me just double check. Everybody can see? Can you see my desktop here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can. Okay. All right. So this is what my screen looks like. Yours looks slightly different, but all of the same material is there. And let's just start off by saying, if you click on something and the link is down, just send me an email real quick, because I won't know that all the time unless someone calls it to my attention. Sometimes within assignments are embedded different links. So there you go. I think what we'll do, this is I called you guys can do. That's the CB's motto, can do. All right, so CBs are a branch of the military. They have a base in Port Hueneme, and my brother was a CB, and they always say, they don't say, I can't do it. They always say they can do. So they're can do. Here is the syllabus. We're going to look at that. I just want to show you, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because you have it there. This is how you have to, most of my documents are links. So, at your own pace, you're going to read through all that or skim it or however it is you ingest this. Today, here we are. You must have seen something because here we are at 3 o'clock via Zoom. So we're good to go. And Mondays and Tuesdays, it's really just, for now, it's just going to be Mondays, 2 to 4. But if you send me an email any day of the week, I usually see them. I check them every day. And when you send an email to me, make sure you go through Canvas and you go through the course, that you don't send it to the other email, because then it's embedded in a bunch of other stuff and I don't usually see it very quickly. Okay. So the first part of the syllabus, if you're needing help, if you don't know how to do Google Docs or can't access assignments, if you're newer to online education, I can't help too much with the technical side. That's not really where I come in, but there's all kinds of resources. You can click on any of those and get either live help or via, there we go. Okay, so here's my link that I'm so happy with. Okay, so it says links to how-to documents. I put it in here because it's going to come up the whole semester. This is everything. I have done this, amassed all these links over about 4 semesters, and they're all the most helpful ones, and these will be instructions that will recur. So here's the Writing Center. We have an in-class tutor, and they're just links. So this little note, I'm going to put it, I put it in the class notes, which is a document that you can access anytime. But it's also right there in the syllabus, so you can get tech support, etc. And here's the class notes. So why don't I do my work while you're, so I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to go to the class notes. Oh, no, I'm not, because I put something there already. Never mind. All right. So you'll see this document there as well. So a word bank is, you're not going to be using words when you are quoting another text. We're going to call everything a text, even if it's a video or a article or a book. We're just going to say the text means the word content. You're not going to use says or talks about. You're going to try to find all these other words that are more precise and really embody what the text is doing. It argues, discusses, describes, all of that. So if you forget how many of those kind of words there are, there's a word bank, and I gave you a giant list of those kind of words. How to write a summary. It's going to be one of the first assignments, and it sounds kind of boring. It's not exactly. There's sort of an art to it. It means that you have to use the language of the text without replicating it exactly. And you need to attribute every idea to the author without repeating their name, back to back to back endlessly. There's kind of a rhythm of it, and we have lots of examples. So if you forget, an academic summary is more than you think. It has this, there's this phrase that's going to come up a lot, which is MLA style, modern language association. And if you go to writing an academic summary, there you'll see some slides on this one, and they go through, I made these slides myself, all the different elements to an effective summary that is representing accurately a text and is not offering an opinion, but it's simply orienting the reader to the content without plagiarizing, which means just pulling it word for word, which is a crime. It's an academic crime. So you want to be able to paraphrase, use, transform it into your own words, and also attribute to the author. So it's really one of the building blocks of the whole thing. So anyway, there'll be more instructions on that, and we're going to go step by step on how to do that and give you a practice on how to do that, and I'll give you feedback. But if you ever forget, it's right here in this document. How to write focused paragraphs. Okay, so the two big mental processes that you're going to need to learn are reading something and then, being able to summarize and extract textual ideas from the original into your work and integrate. And then the other thing is to be able to analyze some of the ideas that are put forward and apply it to your own life and your own ideas. So we're always interested in your ideas, but not when you're relaying the content simply. We're interested in them once the content is out there. Everyone can agree this is the idea on the table. And then comes your analysis of those ideas by applying them. And all the while, you need to be integrating the language of the text and the ideas of the text and making sure they're attributed to the original writer. And that's kind of an art form, and you'll see lots of examples, etc. So here are just more how to do transitions at the beginning of paragraphs. You can't just begin out of nowhere as if you walked into a room and just launched into some topic. It would be kind of weird. So transitions are needed to go from one idea to the other. There's slides, there's more instructions. Focus paragraphs is a big deal. Analysis, there's been a lot of talk lately about how AI can write your papers for you. And I looked into it and I thought, well, the thing of it is here, not really, because it's analysis that is the mental skill that you need to learn that you can take with you anywhere. Being able to extract a blurb from the internet because it exists on the internet is not the same as being able to manage an idea and apply it to something else in a novel and original way. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the hard part is get a grip on the idea, replicate it accurately without opinion, and then begin to form your opinion by analyzing discrete points. So that's all ahead of us. Anyway, narrative tips and examples of essay number 1. Another thing that you can find on this document and elsewhere is examples of student papers. So our first couple of weeks, we're doing exercises, assignments that guide you towards how to write your first paper, and you'll be getting credit for them, 10 points. I do look at the content of what you write and what you put in there. Some of them are answering study questions for reading, and I do look at those. So it's a 10-point scale, and assignments and discussions are worth 60% of 40% of your grade, and essays are worth 60%. So it's more weighted towards the essays. And that's how the grading works. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to call this to your attention because it's really a very handy document and I don't want you to miss it. So here we go. We're just going to take a look at what's on the shell that we have. The first one is only tips and strategies and helpful MLA errors to avoid. You'd be surprised how it's easy when you see don't do this. And there's a lot of things that happen. One of them is says and talks about. One of them is putting the author's name in parentheses at the end of a sentence, which is not in itself an error, but for our purposes, it is, because we don't have, 10 different things we're juggling and we need to organize it doing that. Anyways, here we go. So these are, this is to help you revise how to do a works cited. So between the document I showed you, the links to how to, and then these documents here in the first module, you should be able to refer back. So don't imagine that these are going to be helpful to you today, but they will be helpful as you go and you are trying to write these kinds of paragraphs and excerpts about things that you read. And punctuation, a lot of people have really basic punctuation dilemmas. Let's call them dilemmas. And I will be instructing you in those. I will say this also. I keep track of what I'm saying to you, what I am writing to you, what I'm guiding you to do. So if I see that you're not implementing those strategies, that can impact your grade. If I'm saying, okay, this is the punctuation error, these are just for surface errors. This is an error that is being made here. And now you need to, next assignment, you need to apply this feedback. If the feedback isn't applied, that does kind of impact how I look at the next grade. And I do record all of the things that I say. So let me just we'll look at what it looks like for me. So I have the assignment and you've done it. And we go to the grader and then all your names are there. Let me move this. I'm just going to go to Chris did his work. And then then I see, and then here he's written this to you on the document. And I see, this is what I did. I'm going to scoot myself again. 10 points are the maximum points. So it means you did everything in the instructions. You read them, you achieved whatever was asked of you in them. And there's usually a rubric, which a rubric just means it shows you the criteria. So he gets 10 full points. Super. Grammatical, he said, I tend to overlook grammatical points. So I gave him a grammatical tip. So now he's in big trouble because I tend to overlook grammatical errors when proofreading, and I need to work on my time management. There's a couple of punctuation documents that have to do with comma and, comma or, comma but in joining complete sentences. So I'm happy to discuss that with anybody who wants to talk about it. But if I'm guiding you to either that document or I'm inserting a comma for you, you need to look at both sides of your sentences. Are they complete sentences? It's a little more complicated than that, but you need to take a look at it and perhaps look at the document that explains the reason. It's always better to know the reason for it. Okay, so hold on. Okay, I'm gonna take that off. Okay, so then we're going to go back to let's get that going. And then we're going to go, okay, so on your homepage, there will be a document that says, there'll be a tip that says, what's coming up. I'll show you on the homepage. Here it is. Now that means that it says to do. And I have for every module, there's units, we're learning some skills, then we're doing paper 1, then we're doing some skills in paper 2, it goes like that. So here you can see building blocks and accurate reading. If you click on this top assignment, it's not an assignment, but it tells you everything that we're going to do. So if you're someone who wants to get ahead or look and see what's coming, you can always do that. Okay, you can look, and some of the assignments won't be open yet. I try to open many assignments earlier than they are due so that you have a chance to look them over. Which brings me to this point I'm going to make here. And then in order, okay, so this is your course. This is what you are going to do. This assignment, this assignment, this assignment, then this assignment, then these are in order of when they're due. And they're also in order of the building blocks of the skill you need to write the first paper. All right. And also you need to have read some things in order to choose what you want to write about. Okay. So I have the reading list and you're going to choose those. However, there's more that you can choose from. So you can see the beginning is just building skills. And in the end, you're going to write a 200-word introductory paragraph. Again, if you go to the how-to document, how do you write an intro? Boom, it's right there. And then there's an example of it. And you can go to any of the student papers. Okay, so then unit 2, that's far in the future. We don't have to worry about it now, but you can look at the same thing. You can see all of the different things that we're going to be doing. So that's the paper is going to be due. Another reading is going to be added. You can just get a glimpse. Another reason I do it is so that you have a to-do list. Anyway, so unit 3, we go on and you can see all the readings that are going to be done. But what I really want to show you is if you go down further, you can see the instructions for all of the essays. Okay. So there's just really going to be 3, although the last one is kind of a doozy. It's a research paper, so it's a bit longer. And it's very specific. But if you wanted to work on them early, you can simply click on the instructions and, start thinking about if you want to look them over, because I don't want anything to be a surprise. And here we go. These are readings. Some of them are in your assignments. But if you decide, hey, I want to write about something else that I see here, and you'll see they're all very interesting and helpful and thought-provoking, and you can shop around on here. There's plenty to look at. And if you read an interesting article, feel free to send me a link to it or the article itself or whatever you want to do. Because I'm always open to getting something that's current, that's even newer. Okay. So rubrics for the essays. I'm just gonna, this is how essays are graded on a 6, 5, 4, which is really ABC. And in the syllabus, you can see that, you can get like a 5.4, 5.5. It goes up to 6, and your research paper is worth double. So it goes up to 12. But the scale is really the same, and there's a special rubric for it, but it's really the same idea. All right, so I think I'm just going to go back to, and so I would say, and a class notes is a document where I will put different tips and strategies, and sometimes I take, here's some interesting, I found this a couple of weeks ago, is who's an expert? Is anybody actually an expert? And in these times, that is really going up for grabs. So you really have to pay attention when you get outside information, who the person or people are, the organization that is presenting it, and do they have some other agenda? Are they selling something? What are their credentials? You got to kind of cross-reference different things that make someone an expert. Okay, so the class notes, and sometimes I'll take an excerpt of your work. So let me know if you don't want me to do that, that you don't want it. But if you write something really good, or if you make, hopefully it's okay with you, if you make like a classic error that other people can benefit from, that we can just easily correct. Sometimes I'll take an excerpt. I usually do it anonymously though. I just copy and paste it and then show you the correction. So it's worth taking a look at the class notes if you're looking for, things that have happened here. Oh, down here, this is from the previous semester. If you scroll down this document, you can see notes from a previous semester. These are people, they made videos at the end of the semester on tips and strategies for doing well in the course. Okay. Now that is all that I'm going to stop the share, and that's what I've got for you at this point. I know there's only 2 of you here, so I'm recording this and I'm going to send this out to you. Do you 2 have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't have any questions at the moment. You answered everything that I did have at the time.
Yeah, well, I was going fast, and I'm sure, I don't know if you could pay attention to the whole thing. You've got it on tape. It's not that exciting as a rewatch, but what are you going to do? Here's the last thing I'm going to really say is that everything is here for you. It's really a question of whether you're going to take the time to read the instructions, or look at the examples. Sometimes the examples can help you more than anything. Is you hear you see the rhythm of the words, you hear them, you get them in your mind of how these kind of essays go. And one last thing is, let me just show you one other item. If you are you're just scrolling in the modules, you'll see. So these are just assignments. The first order of business is just all the things you'll do in the order you will do them. So double check that, make sure that you're getting all that. And then there's the readings and the assignments. So lots of readings. Now here, example essays, you can use them as models. This is based on an essay that you'll read. This is based on a TED Talk that you'll read. This is how two articles are integrated together in an analysis. So you'll see now essay 2. Oh, some of these are not for you. Actually, you can see they're not published there because our essay 2 is going to be narrative. Research paper examples. The research paper is a little bit different for you. We've had to alter it a little bit. I've had some new guidelines passed down to me, so I altered it. So these can just give you the idea of how the writing sounds, but not the format. Okay. So I put some in there so you can kind of see how that sort of writing goes. Okay. Haley, what about you? Any comments, questions?
I don't think I have any comments right now. I think you answered everything.
Hopefully, okay. And if you think of anything, remember to email me through the class. I'll show you just, well, I won't even show you. Just trust me that if you just email eHandley at Pipeline, it goes to an email that is cluttered with 1,000 things from the college. But if you email me, if you go into your shell and you go into your class and then email me there, I get it right away. Okay. So feel
Okay.
free to email me anytime. And then my office hours are Mondays 2 to 4. Okay.
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 All right. Have a great day. And I'll send this out in an announcement. I'm glad you checked them. And sometimes announcements are crucial because I'll give you a tip or a strategy. Or I'll tell you where there's, a broken link or an assignment has changed, or you don't have to do something. So pay attention. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Have a nice day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you.